Hey guys, Chris here. Today I'm driving the brand new Porsche Macan electric rear wheel drive. So this is the brand new entry level version into the Macan lineup. So we're gonna take this car out on the road, drive it to a small town, drive through some twisty roads because this should be about 110 kilograms lighter than the Macan 4, which should mean it's more agile, should possibly be sharper as well. And then we're going to take this out on the Autobahn for a Vmax run to see if the performance of 360 horsepower is enough for the Porsche brand. So all of those questions are going to be answered in today's video. I want to ask you guys a small favor that is completely free for you, and that is subscribing to the channel. You may not care about subscribers, and I really don't care about subscribers, but the manufacturers and the brands do. So when I try to get early access to a car, they look at my subscriber count, they look at my view count. View count is very good, but subscribers is a little bit lacking for where I want to be to, be invited to more events. So I want to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel, and if we could get to 50,000 subscribers before the end of October, I want to plan a big trip somewhere in Europe, somewhere around the world with an awesome electric car, and I want you guys to choose where. So again, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for commenting and liking and also subscribing. So I've already driven the 4S extensively today. That video will probably be out tomorrow or maybe the day after. I think this video is going out first, but I've already driven it extensively and I've already made an exterior and interior tour talking about this car in detail, so that video is out already. So if you want to check that out, there will be a link in the description box down below. But with that being said, beautiful exterior spec. This is frozen blue metallic with this crayon interior with contrast stitching, the sport seats. This is a very, very nice and beautiful spec. I think it has rear wheel steer. So this is, an expensive rear wheel drive version of the Macan. So I don't think, like, for people speccing a Macan, they'd go, this crazy with all of these options. But you may be. We'll see what this is like to drive. But just going through the town here, like, the suspension is comfortable but taut. This is on air suspension with 22-inch wheels. So you're gonna feel, those bumps, big wheels and tires. And, it's a lot more firm, but not uncomfortable, but compared to the Audi Q6 e-tron on air suspension. And it's also very sporty to drive the 4S at least. But let's see, take this out on some twisty roads. But just driving through the town here, it just feels nice and compliant, but you're still getting a sporty ride. So if you're going to compare it to, say, for example, a Porsche Taycan, the Taycan is more planted and just has, a little bit more compliance in the suspension. This doesn't feel as expensive or as luxurious as that car. One of the first things I noticed hopping into this rear wheel drive version compared to the 4S is that the steering, especially off center, feels a lot more natural. So the steering in my Taycan, my personal vehicle, my Taycan Cross Turismo, has a really nice weight from off center, and once you load up the wheels, it just has nice weight, has nice feel. And the 4S doesn't feel that way. Off center, it feels very springy, like there's a lot of resistance right off center. It feels a little bit unnatural, but this doesn't have that to nearly the same extent. Is it as natural and nice feeling as the Taycan? Well, not quite. Like, it still wants to center in an unnatural way, but it just weights up and it doesn't have that strange off-center feel. Is that because this doesn't have drive on the front wheels? Well, probably. I am actually guessing that because why would there be a difference? Like, this is on the same wheels and tires as that other car I was driving. So that's interesting. So, like, okay, seems like you're getting a benefit with, not going for all-wheel drive. You're getting a car that feels just a little bit more sharp, a little bit more natural off center. So this may actually, like, from a driving perspective, be the best car in the range, at least when it comes to, like, handling and steering feel. Okay, so we're now approaching the Autobahn. We're gonna go on the A8, which is right in between Stuttgart and München. I've been on that Autobahn quite a bit, usually every time I go down to this part of Germany. But we're now on a normal stretch of the motorway here, 120 kilometer an hour speed limit. And let's just, go off the throttle here and just do a pull. So I mean, it's not slow, 360 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.7 seconds. It doesn't feel slow, but it's not, fast. It's not a quick car in that sense. But what I've noticed when I drove the 4S, what was interesting about that is that once you got close to 200 kilometers an hour, it actually started to pull harder. Where a lot of other electric cars, once you go above 100, 120, they start to, lose steam, like the Volkswagen ID.7 GTX I drove recently. Like passing cars on Norwegian and Swedish country roads, it just felt like it lost steam going at a higher speed. So it's going to be curious to see what this does. So we're just going to, do an exit here off this and then enter the A8 motorway or Autobahn, and then hopefully we'll get to test this car at Vmax. Safety starts with the tire, and that's why I can highly recommend the new studless winter tire from Continental, Viking Contact 8, which is already a test winner. Remember guys, the tire is the only thing keeping your car on the road, and that's why it is so important to have the best possible tire. And that's why I can highly recommend the best, which is this new Viking Contact 8 from Continental. You can also win a set of these Continental Viking Contact 8 studless winter tires if you go to the link in the description box down below and you fill out the form. So a huge thanks to Continental for sponsoring this video and also for making the Viking Contact 8, making our roads safer. Yeah, it is 3:30, so hopefully the traffic isn't too bad. And now we are on a de-restricted section of the Autobahn behind a Toyota CHR. Hopefully he'll move out of the lane quickly. And this car has a top speed of 220 kilometers an hour. So let's put the pedal to the floor, and yeah, this is where it feels a little bit lacking compared to that 4S. Like, it doesn't necessarily feel quick. We are going uphill now, 200, 210, 215, 220 is the top speed according to GPS, indicated 226 and 227, and we have an Audi in front of us hogging the left lane. Yeah. Okay, let's let him move out of the way. We're at 59% state to charge now. We have an old 5 Series pulling out ahead of us. Does it see us in the mirror? 200 kilometers an hour, 195. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No. No. Doesn't move. Come on. Come on, guy. If you just move. Okay, thank you. He was trying to accelerate. But yeah, okay, let's do a run again. 190. 200. 210. 219, 220, 227, 227, 227. Okay, that's Vmax. That's Vmax, and hard on the brakes. So this has a rear wing, and we didn't put the car into Sport Plus. We were in normal mode. So let's go another run. We're at 58% state of charge. Does it feel quicker? Okay. So I mean, it doesn't lose steam. It feels as quick, like pulling through 200, 210, it feels a little bit harder now. 216, 220, 226 again. Yeah. It feels a little bit quicker in Sport Plus mode. That wing is up all the time in Sport Plus mode. I think we're at 170 now. If we go into normal mode, the wing, does it drop? Okay, 130. Yeah, 130. It's down 140. It's down. I think it goes up at 150. No. 155 in normal mode. But you put it into Sport Plus mode, it's up all of the time. The car hunkers down on its suspension, and that rear wing is just going to give it a little bit extra stability, like at speed. I had an e-tron GT a few years ago. Took it down here to Germany 3 years ago. and you know, going above 200 kilometers an hour, it really helps with stability having that rear wing. So let's see if this transit van will move out of the way. We can do another pull to Vmax, but 227 indicated, but it doesn't feel, you know, that 4S really felt quick. So let's hope nobody pulls in front of us now. 180, 190, 200, 210, we're at 55% state of charge, 217, 220, 227 indicated, and we caught up with that 3 Series or 5 Series in front of us. I mean, it's not bad for a base level, for a base model. It definitely pulls like above 200 kilometers an hour. Like, it pulls nicely, but you do feel it's not 517 horsepower or 16 as that 4S. And also, you know, 20 kilometers an hour lower top speed. If you care about that, something to think about. So there we go, guys. That was my review of this, the brand new Porsche Macan electric with rear wheel drive. And I have to say, after having driven the 4S first, I was surprised that I actually prefer driving this because of the more natural steering feel. It also feels a little bit lighter on its feet. But for me in Norway, it doesn't make a lot of sense because the price cut compared to the 4 is so little. But if you live in another country, for example, if you live in Florida, like my cameraman Dave, which is actually Dave, or Out of Spec Dave from Out of Spec Reviews, Kyle's dad. Hi Kyle, if you're watching. I think this would make more sense where they live. But in Norway, that 4-wheel drive version is the version to go for. So it's a bit unfortunate because if I lived in a warmer climate in Florida or maybe here, I think this would be the one to get because of that better efficiency, lower starting price, and it's also better to drive. I just really like it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.